In the beginning of the drama, we see an old uncle who is writing something, but then some thieves come there and start beating him. But this uncle completely defeats those thieves and tells them, if you have so much free time, write something. After that, the uncle starts leaving, and while leaving, he removes his beard and mustache. Then it is revealed that this old uncle is actually a young man. Now this boy goes inside a very big and luxurious house. Just then his secretary says to him, "Mr. Writer, have you completed your research?" We get to know that this boy is a very famous writer and his name is Han Seju. Seju tells us, "Yes, I'm a famous writer. You might think my work is easy, but not at all. Before writing anything, I live that character. I do complete research behind it." We learn that Han Seju is indeed very famous. He has many signing events and a huge number of fans. Also, Seju lives a perfect life. According to him, a perfect life is one that goes exactly on time. He eats on time, sleeps on time, writes on time. Seju says he didn't become this successful just like that. He worked very hard even in his free time. Now the next scene is shown in Chicago. Seju had gone to Chicago for a signing event. At the place where the event was happening, his eyes fall on an antique typewriter. He did not know why, but this typewriter was attracting him. Seju was drawn towards it. Then the shop owner tells him, "Sir, this typewriter is from 1930 Korea. It's from your country." Seju asks the shop owner, "Can I buy this typewriter?" But the shop owner refuses and says, "Sir, this is priceless for me. I bought it in an auction." So Seju begins to leave without the typewriter. But suddenly he hears a voice from behind. "Hey friend, where are you going?" Seju turns around in shock, but no one was standing there. Now the next scene shows a bookstore in Korea. There, a girl is praising Seju's book nonstop. "Wow, how handsome he is. He is truly the best." Then her friend says, "Stop it now, how long will you keep staring at him? What's so special in him anyway?" Hearing this, the girl becomes red with anger and starts clawing like a cat. She says, "Yes, I'm Han Seju's crazy fan, and I can't listen to anything against him." This girl's name is Jeon Seol, and her friend is Bangjin. Then another girl comes to Bangjin and asks, "What happened to Seol? Why was she so angry at you?" Bangjin replies, "Because my friend is Han Seju's legendary fan." Bangjin tells more about Seol. Seol's mom and dad are not alive. She is an orphan and lives with Bangjin and her mom. And in the entire world, if she loves anyone the most, it is Han Seju. She is his crazy fan number one. Next we learn that Seol does many part-time jobs, and today she had to deliver a parcel. When she sees the address, she becomes extremely excited because the address belonged to none other than Han Seju. Before ringing the bell at his house, she says, "Oh God, what should I do? My heart is beating so fast." But controlling her emotions, she rings the bell and says softly, "Please take the parcel." When Han Seju says, "Speak louder, what are you saying?" Seol bends her head and says, "Please take the parcel." Seju says, "Keep the parcel there, I will take it." Poor Seol makes an excuse and says, "No, I have to deliver it directly into your hands." But Seju says, "I told you, keep it there. I'm busy, I'll take it later." Poor girl sits down sadly and says, "What should I do? I got a chance today and still couldn't meet Han Seju." Just then a dog comes there, and seeing it, Seol feels its fate is so good. It lives in my Han Seju's house. She thought it was Seju's dog. The gate opens for the dog. The dog goes inside, and Seol secretly follows it inside. Then she rings the inner gate's bell and says, "Take the parcel." But just then Seju comes and asks, How did you come inside? Tell me first." Seol says, "You opened the gate yourself." Seju says, "Why would I open the gate for you?" Seol says, "Now that I'm already inside, I'll just keep this parcel inside." But Seju says, "Stop right there and put the box down. I don't know what camera or device you've hidden inside it to steal my script." Seol says, "No, you're misunderstanding. I'm not a thief." Seju says, "I know people like you very well." Seol says, "You don't believe me? Look at this, my golden part-timer card. I am the #1 part-timer in the top 10 ranking." But Seju still misunderstands her. Meanwhile, the dog goes inside. Seju asks, "Did you see someone going inside?" Seol. She says, "Yes, that was your dog who went inside." Seju says, "Dog? Hey, I'm allergic to dogs. Hurry and catch it. You must have brought it inside. Why are you standing here? Go inside." Seol says, "But you were the one who told me not to come inside." Seju says, Well, now I'm telling you, go inside and catch it. So both of them go inside. And then they see that the dog has taken Seju's pen drive because the pen drive was shaped like a bone. And this pen drive had his entire new script. He tells Seal, go. Go quickly and bring my pen drive back. Now Seal also starts saying, please dear doggy, give me that pen drive. Seju says, is this how you're asking him? Let me ask. He shouts, hey, give me my pen drive back. Seal says, say it more lovingly, only then he'll return it. Before Seju could speak nicely, the dog took the pen drive into his mouth. After that, the dog starts leaving, and both of them begin running after him to catch him. Somehow, the two of them take the dog to the hospital, and after a while Seal comes back and says, with great difficulty, dog has emptied his stomach. Only then we got the pen drive. Here, take it. Seju says, EW. You think I'm going to touch it? You hold it and come home with me. And he takes Seal to his house and makes her transfer all the data from the pen drive. Seal sits happily, staring at her idol, Seju. Then Seju says to her, do you want to say something? Why are you staring like that? Seal says, do you know, we have met before? Seju says, 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago. Everyone says this after meeting me. Your work is done, right? Why are you sitting? Leave now. While leaving, Seal says, this parcel is very heavy. Can I put it inside? Seju says, no need. He asks her where the parcel came from. Seal says, it came from Chicago. Seju understood immediately that the typewriter must be inside. Now the scene changes. Next we see Seju in a bookstore. There he sees a boy and starts ignoring him, walking ahead. But then some of his fans appear and unwillingly, he walks towards the boy to talk. The boy's name is Baek Taemin. He is also a writer but not as famous as Seju. Taemin says, I need your help. Dad left an unfinished novel. I need you to complete it. Seju says, so what? Why should I help you complete that unfinished novel? Taemin says, don't forget, we used to live in the same house. Dad misses you a lot. We get to know that this boy is Seju's stepbrother. Seju says, you said it yourself, we used to live together. Now we don't. I'm not helping you. When Seju is home that night, he starts hearing some strange noises from outside. He goes out to see, and finds Seal standing there with the same dog. He says, you came again? And you brought your dog inside too. Tell me how you opened the gate. Seal says, the gate was already open. Seju says, I feel like you and your dog are working together and have come to steal my script. Seal says, no, nothing like that. I'm your #1 fan. And this dog doesn't have a home. So I thought, maybe you could give him a little space in your big house. Seju says, I know fans like you very well. I don't want a stalker like you. He talks very rudely to Seal, and seeing his behavior, Seal becomes very sad. When she leaves, she remembers the time when no one knew Seju, and he used to sit in a cafe and write his stories. Seal used to work in that cafe. She liked seeing him working so hard. She had even given him coffee many times. She remembers him, but after becoming successful, Seju's behavior changed and he doesn't remember her at all. Anyway, Seal leaves. But Seju again starts hearing strange noises. So he yells, hey girl, you haven't left yet? But it wasn't Seal, it was someone else. That boy says to Seju, because of you, my life is ruined. After reading your crime novel, I became a criminal. Seju says, stop right there. The boy was about to harm Seju. But suddenly, Seal makes a heroic entry and saves him. The police come and take the boy away. After the police leave, Seju asks Seal, how did you come inside again? Seal says, the gate was open again. Suddenly Seal feels dizzy and faints. After some time, Seal wakes up in Seju's room. It all feels like a dream to her. Then her friend calls and asks, it's so late, why haven't you come home yet? Seal says, you won't believe it. I'm in Han Seju's room. Bang Jin says, wow. My friend, you're going too far now. Enjoy, I'm hanging up. Now that Seal is in her favorite idol's house, she obviously can't sit quietly. She starts wandering around and reaches his writing room. Then Seju says, hey, do you have any manners? You'll roam around someone's house like this. Then Seal's stomach growls, and Seju gives her noodles to eat. Seal sits there slurping noisily, and Seju says, can you eat without making noise? Seal says, I know you're sitting here and writing just to keep me company, and since I saved your life, you want to thank me. Seju says, what? You saved my life? Did I ask you to? You came on your own. And even if you hadn't come, he couldn't have harmed me. I know not one or two, but 17 martial arts. But in reality, he was acting like a scared cat earlier. Seju tells Seol, if you're done eating, leave now. So for now, Seol leaves. But the next day, Seju calls her himself and asks to meet. Seol thinks he has called her on a date, but Seju had called her to a deserted place. She asks, why did you call me here? Seju says, come on, show me. Where's the camera? Seol asks, what camera? Seju says, I know everything. That boy who came to my house yesterday, you two are working together and came to steal my script. Seol says, enough. How many times should I say that I'm not a stalker and I'm not here to steal your script? But you just won't believe me. She gets so angry that she picks up Seju and throws him to the ground. While leaving, she mutters, enough now. From today, I'm not his fangirl. He's nothing to me. Next, it shows Seju. To confirm, he goes to that boy in person. Then he finds out that he and Seol had no connection at all. He doesn't know her. Here Seju realizes his mistake, that Seol was telling the truth. She wasn't involved with him in any way. Now we are shown that Han Seju goes into a different kind of guilt, that a person became a criminal after reading his novel. The reporters also found out about this, and they were troubling him. Han Seju was unable to write now because whenever he sat down to write, all these thoughts ran through his mind. On top of that, his manager was pressuring him. The deadline was getting missed. You have to write something quickly. This is a matter of millions. But Seju really couldn't write. Then his manager says, if you can't write, I'll find a ghostwriter for you who will write in your place, but the name will be yours. Then Han Seju says, I don't need any ghostwriter. I will write it myself before the deadline. So now Seju picks up that typewriter brought from Chicago to write, and when he touches the typewriter, he starts getting some old memories. In those memories, he sees himself as if these are memories of his past life. Seju's mind becomes so disturbed that he gets up and runs away from there wondering what he is seeing. He takes his car and drives towards the mountains and, due to lack of attention, his car falls off the cliff. But then Seju sees someone coming towards him with a shovel. It was no one else but Seol. Seju is shocked. How did she come here? Then he remembers what Seol had said earlier. No matter how big the trouble is, I won't come to save you. Poor guy begins to think, has she come to save me or to send me up above? After some time, Han Seju regains consciousness and sees that he is completely fine. He asks Seol, what are you doing here? Seol says, whatever I say, you'll say I followed you. But today I should be asking you, what are you doing here? I come here often. This cabin belongs to my dad. My house had collapsed. I was searching for it there. But I found you instead. Now that you're fine, leave my dad's cabin. Seol angrily leaves from there. But then Seju sees a book kept there. When he opens it, a photo falls out. It was Seju's photo. He remembers that this photo was taken in the same coffee shop where he used to sit and write earlier. And then he remembers that Seol is the same girl who used to give him coffee. Now everything becomes clear to him. Seol really is his fan and already knew him from before. So Han Seju also goes to help Seol find her lost watch. Well, they don't find the watch, but Han Seju does apologize to Seol for misunderstanding her. However, Seju does not tell Seol that he remembers everything now that he had met her before. He only apologizes to her for assuming she was a stalker. Seol gives Seju a place to sleep in her dad's cabin. She herself sleeps downstairs and lets Seju sleep on the bed. Now while turning over, when Seol's eyes fall on Seju, she quickly closes her eyes and pretends to be asleep. Whereas Seju is thinking, she must be very happy today. Her idol is staying in her room. Let her be happy and let her look at me as much as she wants. But when he looks at her side, she is already fast asleep like a log. The next morning, when Han Seju reaches his home, his manager says, good, you've completed your script. Seju says, what do you mean? Because he hadn't written anything. He asks, did you hire a ghostwriter to write in my place? The manager says, this is why I tell you not to drink so much. Have you had a drink early in the morning? Why would I bring a ghostwriter when you have written so wonderfully yourself? But Seju can't understand. He wrote nothing. Then who wrote it? His manager leaves saying, come to your senses. It's morning. But Seju is still shocked. Who wrote the script in his place? Next we are shown chapter 1 of Seju's new novel. It became extremely famous, even reached the top charts. Now Seju starts thinking, maybe I did write it. Who else can write this well except me? Maybe I forgot because I drank too much. Next, Han Seju and his team have a photo shoot. Then a team member asks, your new novel is performing well, but it doesn't look like you wrote it. Your writing style is crime novel, but this one is a romance novel. Did you really write it? Now even Seju starts thinking, he can't write a romance novel. Then who wrote it? Anyway, leaving all this aside, Seju sits again to write chapter 2. As soon as he sits at the typewriter, he again starts getting memories of his past life. Seju gets disturbed again. Why is he remembering all this? Just then his secretary comes and says, Sir, we have received chapter 2 as well. Seju says, what? The poor guy gets extremely worried. He hasn't written a single word, and they already received chapter 2. Who is writing in his place? Someone no one can even see. Seju is very troubled, and at night he starts hearing typing sounds from the typewriter. He is shocked. What are these sounds? When he goes to see, someone is writing on that typewriter. Seju says, who are you? Then that boy says, can you see me? Seju says, my eyes are fine, and I can see you. Then that boy says, I am Eugenio, your ghostwriter. The manager is lying to me. After this, Sejun ties up Gino, saying, I'll call the manager right now and ask him how he hired a ghostwriter. He immediately calls the manager. But when the manager arrives, the ropes are lying open and Gino has disappeared. The manager says to Sejun, where is he? Where is that ghostwriter? Did he disappear like a ghost? How many times should I tell you to stop talking nonsense? Listen to yourself, you're talking complete madness. But Sejun was genuinely shocked. Where did Eugenio go? On the other hand, Seol is shown. She had studied animal medicine, and currently she had gone to work part-time at an animal hospital. Just then, Baek Taemin had come there to get his cat checked. And here he and Seol start getting along well. Meanwhile, poor Han Seju is scratching his head wondering where the ghostwriter disappeared without him noticing. Walking around, he reaches near Seol's house. Then he sees Eugenio walking right behind Seol. Seol moves ahead, but Han Seju catches Gino and asks, What are you doing here? Gino says, I came to see Seol. Just then, with the noise, Seol and her aunt come outside. By then, Eugenio had already disappeared, and the aunt throws salt on Sejun and says, Run from here. Go away. Then Seol takes Sejun away from there and asks him, What are you doing here? Sejun takes out the watch and gives it to Seol. Here, this is your watch, right? It is shown that Sejun had gone back to find Seol's watch and he found it. Seol says, Thank you for finding my watch. Since you found it, I'll buy you dinner today. Seol takes Sejun to the same shop where they used to meet earlier. And then Sejun tells Seol, I remember now. You used to work here when I used to sit and write. Now when both of them were returning, a paparazzi starts clicking their photos. They get noticed. Han Seju grabs Seol's hand and starts running away from there. But while running, he again starts seeing past life memories that he had run like this before too. And now he also sees Seol in the past. He couldn't understand what was happening. He was staring at Seol in shock. Anyway, their photos had been taken. And the next morning, it becomes breaking news. Writer Han Seju seen with a girl. Is she his girlfriend or a ghostwriter? People start making assumptions on their own. This news makes everyone very troubled. Another new problem has come up. Despite all this, Seju sits to write the next chapter. But again he cannot write anything. He gets very frustrated. After some time, he again finds Eugenio sitting at the typewriter. He asks him, You came again? Gino says, You saw me again? Seju says, How many times should I say my eyes are fine? Who sent you here? Gino says, Your manager did. Seju says, Don't lie. My manager didn't send you. Tell me clearly, why have you come? Gino says, I'm helping you. I want to be your friend. Seju says, I don't need a friend like you or a ghostwriter. Go away. I'll write myself. But Gino says, You won't be able to write this novel without me. Then Han Seju says, I am Han Seju. I neither write for anyone nor do I need anyone to write for me. I write original content. He burns the next chapter that Gino had already written and tells him to leave. After sending Gino away, Sejun sits peacefully to write a new chapter. But again, nothing comes to his mind. He simply cannot write. So Se-young picks up the piece of the chapter written by Gino and begins to read it. As soon as he reads one line, he starts remembering scenes from the past. It was around the year 1900, when Korea was not yet free. Here Seju sees Eugenio too. In the past, Seju was also a writer and he was writing something. Gino was his friend and said to him, How long will you keep writing? Enjoy life a bit, life is meant to be lived. But Han Seju replies that he is alive because he writes. If he doesn't write, it means he isn't alive. Then he tells Jino, you should also write something someday. But Jino says, no way, I want to fall in love. Sejun asks, with whom? Jino points and says, with that girl. Sejun looks and is shocked. It's the same girl as present-day Seol. The story returns to the present and Han Sejun's head starts hurting. What is all this that he's seeing? What is happening? Meanwhile, Jino comes back and says, I have another copy of the next chapter. Do you want it? You tried a lot, but you can't write the next chapter. Now Sejun, exhausted and defeated, extends his hand to Jino, takes his script, and types it out. He is about to send it but stops and starts crying because he remembers the words he had said to Seol. I am an original writer. I don't steal anyone's content. But right now, that is exactly what he was doing. That guilt eats at him. The next morning, everyone waits for the new chapter. But no chapter comes. Instead, news comes about Sejun's press conference. The press conference begins. Sejun had placed 2 chairs, one for himself, one for Jino. His manager thinks he has gone crazy. What is he planning? Sejun first clears Seol's name. The girl you are calling my girlfriend or ghostwriter is nothing to me. Please don't tarnish her name. But yes, it is true, I do have a ghostwriter. Everyone asks, then where is he? He gestures toward the chair next to him and says, he is right here. Everyone looks shocked. The manager says, has he gone mad? Sejun says, whoever wants to ask questions, ask my ghostwriter. I'm leaving. He walks out. Now Sejun comes home and starts watching his own press conference. When he watches it, he gets shocked Jino was sitting next to him. But now he cannot be seen in the video. Where did he disappear? Then Jino appears behind him. Sejun asks, where did you go? How did you disappear? Who are you? Jino says, didn't I say? I am your ghostwriter. Sejun grabs his collar and asks, tell me honestly, who are you? Then Jinho says, I'm a ghost, and your writer, who has been trapped inside that typewriter for the past 80 years. Hearing this, Ha Seoju is truly shocked. Now he remembers when he opened the car door for Jinho, the driver was staring at him in confusion, thinking, has this guy gone mad? Why is he opening the other door when no one is there? And in the conference, when he said, my ghostwriter is sitting right here. You can ask him questions. Everyone was confused, wondering who they were supposed to look at because no one was actually there. And that's why his manager said he had really gone crazy. Poor Han Seoju faints after hearing the truth. Sometime later, when he wakes up, Jinho is still sitting in front of him. The moment he sees him, Seoju screams and runs away. Run. Someone save me from this ghost. Even though Seoju is scared, both of them sit down peacefully to talk. Jinho says, I was scared myself, wondering how you can even see me. Seoju asks, so am I the only one who can see you? Jinho says yes. Seoju replies, oh no, don't tell me I'm surrounded by ghosts and they're haunting me. Jinho says, nothing like that. Then he asks Seoju, can you help me? Actually, I like Seol, and I want to confess to her. But I'm afraid, will she even see me or not? Will you help me? Seoju listens in disbelief. Then he says, no, there's no chance she'll like you. Jinho asks, why are you saying that? Do you like her? Seoju says, me and her? Not at all. Just then, Seol arrives at Seoju's house. Seoju says to her, go, I'm very busy right now. But behind him, Jinho opens the gate, and Seol walks in. Seoju shouts, why did you open the gate? Seol thinks he's yelling at her. She says, the gate was already open. Seoju says, I'm not talking to you, sorry. Seol comes in and sits down. She had come to thank Seoju for clearing her name in front of everyone. Jinho sits right next to her and starts praising her. Seoju yells, can't you keep your mouth shut? Seol thinks he's scolding her again, even though he was yelling at Jinho. She says, I didn't know you'd get so angry. I should leave. Seoju says, no, I wasn't talking to you. I'm just not feeling well today. Jinho starts talking again, and Seoju yells again. Seol says, I think I should just go. She gets up to leave. Seoju tries to stop her, and in the process her bag tears. Seol says, I didn't know my coming here bothers you so much. She leaves. Seoju follows her and sees that Seol is crying. She says, from now on, I will never come here. Every time I come, you insult me. I have some dignity too. She leaves. Seoju returns angrily, shouting Jinho's name. Where are you hiding? Come out right now. But Jinho hides. Seoju's manager arrives and says, your press conference was unbelievable. People think you went crazy from stress, and now they pity you. You did all that, fine, but now start writing your novel again. Seoju says, I won't write it again because I didn't write it, my ghostwriter wrote it, who is an actual ghost. The manager says he's really lost his mind and immediately calls a doctor. Everyone now thinks Seoju is crazy. Seoju is truly stressed out. Jinho comes to him and says, come on, let's write the novel together. Let's finish it. Seoju says, because of you the whole world thinks I'm crazy, and you want me to write. Because of you I can't write anything. Jinho says, I didn't write this novel. You did. 80 years ago you left it incomplete. Let's finish it together. Seoju gets furious and says, get out of my car right now. Don't mess with my head anymore. Later that night, Seoju ends up outside the shop where Seal works. He sees Taemin and Seal together, and also that Seal gave Taemin that same dog. When Taemin comes outside, Seoju asks him, what is my dog doing with you? Taemin replies, someone special gave it to me. Her name is Seal. You must know what happened. Why are you so interested in this dog? Seoju says, what's mine, I will take back from you. A past scene is shown. When Seoju and Taemin lived in the same house, Taemin would always steal Seoju's scripts and publish them under his own name. Back in the present, Seoju tells Taemin, this dog is mine, picks the dog up and says, I won't let you take anything from me ever again. He walks away with the dog. But on the way he hears a voice, Han Seoju, I'm here. He looks and realizes Jinho is inside the dog. He remembers Jinho's words. He can't go inside humans, but he can go inside animals. Everything starts making sense. The dog that came into his house, the one that ate his USB, the one who kept opening the gate for Seal. That dog was Jinho. Seoju yells at him, come out. Where are you hiding? But from a distance Seal sees. She sees this and thinks, forget humans, this man doesn't even spare animals. He's shouting at them too. She comes and tries to take the dog away, saying, you don't deserve to look after him. But Jinho was enjoying it. Seal had taken him away. Some time later, Jinho comes back to Seoju's house and says, Han Seoju, please listen to me. Seoju says, get out of my house right now. I don't want to hear anything from you. He adds, and this typewriter in which you've been trapped for 80 years, I'll throw it out too. I'll end this matter so you leave. When Seoju is about to throw the typewriter away, the moment he touches it, he remembers memories from his past life, that the three of them used to be friends. In the present, Jinho says, don't you want to know how the three of us became friends? What happened to us? I truly don't remember anything. I want to know what happened to us. Why did you two get a second life? But I've been stuck in this typewriter for 80 years. Won't you help your friend? Seoju says, I already have enough problems in this life. How can I handle problems from the previous one? No, I don't want to know anything about my past. Jinho says, you've really changed. In the next scene, Seoju bumps into Seal at a coffee shop. Seal tries to avoid him, but Seoju goes to her and apologizes for tearing her bag and for shouting at her. He says, I wasn't even yelling at you. You believe in ghosts, right? Actually, you and I were there, but behind you there was a third person, and I was yelling at him. Seal says enough. You can make such low excuses just to hide your mistakes. Seal starts thinking Seoju is crazy. Next, we see Seal doing a part-time job at Taemin's place. She types his scripts. Taemin asks her, do you have any kind of relationship with Han Seoju? Seal says, why would you ask that? There's nothing like that. Taemin says, no, I was just asking casually. Meanwhile, Seoju is so troubled because of Jinho that he finally gives up and says, fine, I'll write the novel with you. Just come out. Jinho appears and asks, really, Han Seoju? You'll write the novel with me. Seoju says, don't misunderstand. I'm not helping you, I'm helping myself so we can finish the novel and you'll stop bothering me. Jinho says, but I have one condition. The scene cuts here. Then we see Seal returning home at night from Taemin's place. Suddenly it starts raining heavily. Taemin tells her, I'll drop you home. Seal says, no, I'll go by myself. But Taemin grabs her hand, he looked nothing less than a psycho, and says, I said I'll drop you. Just then Han Seoju shows up, pulls Taemin's hand away from Seal, and says, there's no need. Now Jinho's condition is revealed. He made Seoju promise that he would protect Seal from all other guys, especially Taemin, because he buzzes around her like a fly. Poor Seoju had to promise, and that's why he came to protect her. Seoju takes Seal away from there. On the way, he asks her, what were you doing with Taemin so late at night? Seal says, why should I tell you? Are you jealous of Taemin? Seoju says, "Why would I be jealous?" But then he sees Jinho behind her. Seal asks, "Then why did you take me away from there?" What could he even say? He starts saying random things. "Actually, I keep seeing a blurry girl, and you look like her. Maybe that's why my heart starts beating fast when I see you. And then I don't understand why I act like this." Even Jinho standing behind them couldn't understand what he was saying. Seal gets angry and leaves. She was upset because she thought Seoju cared for her only because she looked like his first love, which she did not want, because she genuinely liked Seoju. Now Seoju is always seen following Seal everywhere. Seal is shocked. But Seoju is simply fulfilling his promise to Jinho. One day Seal asks him, "That girl who looks like me, what is she actually like?" Seoju starts telling her about Seal's own past life, that she was a shooter. All the qualities he describes match the character in his novel, because the novel is based on their past life. Seal says, "This girl is a character from your novel." "Oh, I see. You wrote this novel about your first love." Seoju doesn't clarify anything. But today Seal tells Seoju, "Actually, I was also a professional shooter. But whenever I used to shoot, I would remember things from my past life. A blurry memory that maybe I shot someone in my previous life, and because of me, he died. That's why I stopped shooting in this life. And I never tell anyone about this because whoever I tell will be scared and run away from a strange girl like me." Seal had drunk quite a bit when she said this. The next morning, when she wakes up, she realizes what she told Seoju. Seoju doesn't come to see her the whole day. Seal says, "I scared a perfectly normal man. Now he'll never come to meet me." But at night, Seoju comes to meet Seal. She is sitting and crying. Seal asks him, "Did you come because you were thinking of that girl who looks like me?" Seoju says, "No. This matter is between you and me. That third girl is not involved. I came to meet you." Then he hugs her and tries to comfort her. Seoju asks, "Do you remember anything else about your past life?" Seal says no. Seoju goes straight to Jinho and says, "Let's write the novel, but we won't publish it. If Seal reads it, she might remember everything from her past life, and she'll suffer once she finds out whom she shot." Jinho says, "If that's the case, let's give her the script and see if she remembers anything after reading it." Seoju agrees. They give Seal the script to read. She remembers nothing. Both of them stop worrying and continue writing the novel. Seoju asks Jinho, "Tell me, how did we even meet?" Jinho tells him, "We were childhood friends." And Seal's dad was a government official at that time. The Japanese army had taken control of our area. Seal's dad sent her away. That day a boy helped her escape. But Seal never saw his face. She hadn't seen it. That boy saved Seal that day and left her at Jinwa's restaurant. Now Seal starts living there with Jiwoo and Sejun and begins working there too. Meanwhile, Jiwoo slowly starts liking Seal. Here we also find out that both boys were actually secret government detectives. But it is also shown that Seal did not like Sejun at all. They kept fighting all the time. Actually, Seal was trying to find the person who had saved her life that day. She wanted to know who was behind that mask. Seal often suspected that maybe the masked man was either Sejun or Jiwoo. Once, she even placed her hand on Sejun's face to check and asked him, "Are you the one who saved my life that day?" Sejun replied, "Are you crazy? Why would I help you?" Seal also felt he couldn't be the one. Then once she placed her hand on Jinwoo's face too and started thinking maybe Jiwoo was the one who helped her that day. Anyway, now the story comes back to the present. Sejun was going to take Seal on a date, even before his novel got published. Jiwoo wanted to go on a date with Seal, and Sejun was going only because Jiwoo asked him to. But actually, Sejun had also started liking Seal. He cared for her. That's why he enjoyed going out with her. For Seal, only Sejun was physically present, but Sejun kept taking photos with Jinwoo next to them. Jiwoo was enjoying being out with Seal. After spending the whole day, they return home. Jiwoo looks at the photos and realizes he isn't in any of them, only Seal and Sejun are visible. Now he wants Seal to see him. He wants to appear in front of her at any cost. Meanwhile, Sejun starts meeting Seal even without Jiwoo telling him to. He was happy with her because he, too, had started liking her. Not just that, he encourages Seal to start shooting again. He motivates her. Seal already liked being with Sejun. Finally, Sejun's novel gets published. And when Seol reads this novel, she sees memories of her past life. She sees both Sejun and Jiwoo in it. She asks Sejun, "Is this story about our past life?" Sejun doesn't deny it and says yes. Even though Seol didn't remember everything clearly, she now knew that she and Sejun were together in a previous life, and there was another boy with them. Seol tells Sejun, "Do you remember there was another boy with us? His name was Jiwoo." Jiwoo, sitting next to her, hears this and feels happy that Seol finally remembered him. Seol says, "I don't remember his face properly, but he must also have been reborn somewhere by now." Before Sejun can tell her anything, someone arrives, and he can't tell Seol the truth about Jiwoo. Now the night scene shows Taemin arriving at Sejun's house drunk. He was in no condition to go home, so Sejun lets him sleep there. Jiwoo arrives and says, "Sejun, don't trust him too much. He's a very bad person in this lifetime and the previous one too." It is shown that Taemin existed in their past life also, and he was evil then too. He was the leader of the enemy forces. Next day, we see Seol attend her shooting practice again. Today her blurred memory becomes clear. She realizes that in her past life, she had pointed a gun not at someone else, but at Sejun himself. She starts trembling in fear, thinking about what she had done. Just then, Sejun arrives, sees her scared, and tries to calm her down. He asks, "Did you remember something again?" Seol says yes, but she doesn't tell him what she remembered. Ever since she learned all this, she had become restless. She didn't want Sejun to be harmed in this life, so she decides to distance herself from him. First, she quits her job at Taemin's place. Then she goes out with Sejun for one whole day, enjoys with him, and after spending the day together, she goes home. Just then Taemin arrives. His whole behavior had changed. He says, "First you started staying away from me, then you even quit the job. Why? Are you scared of me? Am I a ghost or a creep, or can I hurt you? We could at least remain friends. Why did you need to go away from me?" Seol gets nervous because Taemin is coming too close to her. But Sejun arrives and pushes Taemin away, saying, "Didn't I tell you? She's not your assistant anymore. Stay away from her." He takes Seol from there and says, "You were planning to run away from me, right? Your friend told me everything. Why were you going away from me?" Seol says, "Because I remembered. Maybe you died in the past because of me." Hearing this, Sejun stops the car. Seol says, "Our meeting wasn't a coincidence. Maybe God is punishing me, making me see you every day to remind me of my mistake." She leaves the car. Sejun follows her and says, "Don't think nonsense. The past and this life have nothing to do with each other. Maybe I was the bad person." Seol says, "Maybe you're right. But whenever I remember it, I feel guilty being with you. I can't stay with you." Sejun tries to convince her. Suddenly, a bike rushes toward them, and Sejun saves Seol, getting injured himself. Next scene, the hospital. Sejun says, "I don't think you're any danger to me. In fact, in this life you've saved me twice. Remember the day that stalker entered my house, and on the hill when my car crashed? You saved me both times. Maybe God sent you to protect me in this life. And I wanted to tell you something else. Maybe in the past life, I liked only you." Now we are shown another flashback when he had told Sejun that he liked a girl and wanted to date her. At that time, Sejun was shocked because he too liked Seol. Later when Seol confessed to him, Sejun rejected her because he now knew that his friend Jiwoo liked Seol. Now in the present, Sejun says that there were problems in the past life, but in this life he is free, and he loves her in this life too. As soon as he says this, he kisses Seol. So Sejun and Seol finally confess their love. But on the other side, Jiwoo is still trying that Seol somehow sees him. He knows that Seol's friend Benjin's mother is a shaman. He goes to her and talks to her. He wants her to make Seol able to see him. The shaman tells Jiwoo, "You are a spirit. If you stay around Seol any longer, you will become greedy and never want to leave. It's better for you to go back right now." When Jiwoo is returning, he sees Sejun and Seol together and doesn't like it. He then goes to the typewriter and types, "Send me back to Chicago." But suddenly he sees that Sejun has come there with Seol. Today Sejun tells Seol that their third friend Jiwoo never got reborn. He is here, but she cannot see him right now. At first Seol doesn't believe it, but after Sejun proves it, she finally believes that Jiwoo is really there. Jiwoo becomes happy that Seol now knows about him. He goes and tears the letter, though a small piece still remains. Just then Sejun gets an important call and has to leave for work. He leaves Seol there with Jiwoo. Jiwoo warns him, "I'm leaving Seol here, but don't make any moves behind my back." He was jealous that Jiwoo might flirt with Seol, but he was relieved knowing Seol couldn't see Jiwoo. After Sejun leaves, Seol says to Jiwoo, "It would be so nice if I could see you too." She keeps repeating this. Jiwoo remembers what the shaman had said. If you say past life, Seol will be able to see you. Jiwoo had controlled himself earlier, but now he can't. He says past life and Seol starts seeing him. She gets shocked. Jiwoo becomes extremely happy. Seol touches Jiwoo again and again, excited that she is seeing a ghost for the first time. Seol then tells Jiwoo that she feels Sejun died because of her. Jiwoo says that's impossible. Then Jinwoo tells her the truth. We see a past life scene when Seol found out that these two were secretly working as detectives to free their country. She got angry at them for hiding it from her. In that anger, she had done everything she did. Seol also learns from Jinwoo that the masked man who saved her was actually Sejun. Seol's misunderstanding is cleared, and she feels relieved knowing Sejun didn't die because of her. After some time, Sejun returns and is shocked to see that Seol can now see Jiwoo. He feels happy for his friend. But then he sees the leftover piece of the letter in which Jiwoo wrote about wanting to go back. Sejun asks Jiwoo why he wants to leave. We're living well together here. Sejun doesn't want Jiwoo to leave because he has accepted him as a friend in this life too. Later, Sejun asks Seol to live in his house. She agrees, but Jiwoo also lives there. The three friends live happily. But whenever Sejun sees Jiwoo and Seol talking together, he gets jealous. Meanwhile, Jiwoo publishes an article to punish Taemin, revealing that all stories written by Taemin were actually written by Sejun, and Taemin copied them. After this article is published, people begin criticizing Taemin everywhere. In revenge, Taemin kidnaps Seol and calls Sejun, telling him not to search for Seol because she is with him. Hearing this, Sejun rushes to Taemin. As soon as he faces Taemin in the present, he gets past life flashes. In their previous life, Sejun and his secret team had executed a secret mission to help their country gain freedom. But Taemin, who was the leader of their enemies, found out. They were ready to escape, but Seol wasn't there. In the past too, Taemin had taken Seol. Jiwoo says he will not leave without Seol. Sejun says there are so many lives depending on them, they cannot risk everyone's life for one person. Jiwoo says, take everyone and go. I'll bring Seol. Sejun refuses, but Jiwoo says, don't worry, nothing will happen to me. My father is in their faction. Sejun leaves with the others, and Jiwoo goes to Taemin. Taemin's men capture Jiwoo and ask him to reveal the leader of the secret agency. Jiwoo lies, saying he is the leader, but no one believes him. Taemin threatens him. Jiwoo is forced to betray his friend for the sake of his love. He reveals Sejun's name. But Sejun hadn't actually run away. After ensuring everyone's safety, he was returning to rescue his friends. By then, Taemin and his men already knew the truth about Sejun being the leader. We see Sejun visiting Seol and saying that even though he didn't confess in that life, in the next life he would definitely confess his feelings. Story returns to the present. Police arrest Taemin and Sejun rescues Seol. Sejun tells Seol and Jiwoo that he remembers everything from the past life. Seol asks if he remembers how they died and who died because of her. Sejun says yes. We see the past again. Jiwoo is saved by Taemin's father. Jiwoo receives a box, the typewriter, a watch, and a pen, all belonging to Sejun. Jiwoo had been given these by his friend. There was also a letter from Sejun. Brother, I won't be able to finish this story. But I want you to finish it. And take care of Seol. She is your responsibility. Jiwoo realizes that Sejun is gone forever. Jiwoo cries because his one mistake made Taemin discover the truth. Seol was also released by them. But Seol didn't spare anyone. She took revenge for her friends, and then went to Jiwoo in anger. This was the same scene she used to see blurred in her dreams. She tells Jiwoo, you betrayed us. You shouldn't have told them Sejun's name. A traitor deserves punishment. Jiwoo says he knows he was wrong. Please don't step back. I deserve punishment. The story comes back to the present. Jinwoo's health wasn't good. They couldn't call a doctor for a ghost, so they called the shaman. She says Jiwoo is very weak now and will soon leave because his purpose here is complete. Later, Jiwoo asks Sejun to come eat Seol had cooked for them. Sejun says, so you finally realized why you were trapped in that typewriter. Jiwoo says yes, because he was a traitor. He punished himself, deciding he wouldn't leave until he fulfilled his promise. You and Seol are together now, and we've finished the story. Sejun says, never call yourself a traitor again. You're not. Everything you did was to save Seol. Forget the past and move on. Jiwoo goes to Seol and says she doesn't need to feel guilty, she did the right thing. Seol says, you are not a traitor. Forgive me. Both forgive each other and let go of their past completely. The three sit together. Sejun tells Jiwoo to stay with them forever. But Jiwoo says they can be happy even without him. While talking, Jiwoo suddenly disappears. Sejun calls out for him many times, but Jiwoo never returns. Sejun cries, missing his friend. Time passes. Sejun's novel becomes very famous. Sejun and Seol are together. They still remember their friend and try to live their lives happily. With this, the drama ends. If you liked the video, please subscribe the channel.